committee meeting. So we have application of leave of absence.
There's your call this one.
Yes, he's an apology.
It's an apology. And the young man. He's gone next door. So he's gone next to here.
Okay. And apologies accepted.
Yes, I'll
second that.
Peter. Declarations of interest. Anyone got any?
I have nothing to declare.
Under the thing.
Nothing for myself.
I'll move that accepted.
Right.
I'll second
Item 3, declarations of political donation. Any political donations?
it. Yes. No.
None of you.
Thank you. Stanley.
Moved by
Through Texas. No.
All agreed. No, we don't.
Item 4, status update, activities. Hand over to our leader.
Okay, thank you. Through the chair, first item up there is the Regional Road Emergency Repair Funds, the road drainage works. Following completion of this year's works, the full 4-year program will be completed. Projects we've done this year have been Davis Plains Road. We've done a heavy patching out there, which was completed in November, when line mark is completed. Victoria Road, Millthorpe, was heavy patching done completed out there in December. Offner Road, Warrenall, we had some drainage and culvert works to be undertaken and they've been completed. Barn Park Road, Cadell, there was heavy patching and various sections of pavement on Barn Park, which have been completed. And the last project there, Square Road, Morwell, drainage and culvert works, that's been commenced and the work's just progressing on slowly as we've got resources to do it. I expect that to be finished by the end of March. And there was the 3 concrete causeways on the Belovia Way which were replaced early on in the financial year.
We want that. So
You get a lot of positive feedback about along the way, I think. With that.
Yeah, it's good. Needed doing.
Okay, moving on to the roads to recovery. The first section of the roads recovery program, we have for total allocation of just over $11 million for the 5-year program R2R, which ends in June 30, 2029. We have about $2.2 million per year allocated towards roadworks. Part of it we've been allocating to gravel road resheeting and then to a major project works. This year, the gravel road resheeting is all been completed. The south area roads were Rankin Street, Cable Street, Case Creek Road, Waterhole Creek Road, Collett Street, Jacks Leap Road. North area, we had Backsalios Road, Cadumble Road, Goodridge Road. One hasn't been completed is Gallendale Road. Up further up north, and we had some problems with getting water to that, so we're trying to look at that into later this month to finish that one. Also in the north area is Hedge Road and Thomas Road, which has been completed. In the east area, Mulvis Road, we put some work into that and gone over budget a little bit on that one. We're looking to see if we can get some savings out of resheeting program to do some additional work on Mulvis Road in the coming couple of months. Wild Road, Underwood Road, Calwood Road and Long Point Road have been completed. Long Point Road is a bit of a concern for that one around Christmas time, and we got out to that in January and knocked that one over, so it's all good. So, questions on that?
I just wondered where Bulbous Road is.
Bulbous Road,
Opposite the orange tip.
Oh, okay.
It goes down into the forest.
it goes down.
It goes through King's Forest.
So you can do it resheeting from the end of the bitumen.
yes, worked our way through it, and so
Peter's place, the guy I've just been zoning with, it's where his entrance is.
but yeah,
If Tom's there and we can sort of proceed.
okay, yeah, it's been identified that there's a bit more work. We've probably been 2 or 3 more days on Bulbous Road to do the rest of it, so hopefully we can manage to run the savings and put into that section. And the other one that we were looking at was Lower Lewis Ponds. Putting some money towards that because we've had a few issues there on Lower Lewis Ponds with lack of gravel and things. So
So when you're doing that sort of work in that, on a road like that, do you only work up to boundary with the adjoining local government area? Like on the boundary of Orange is just near
Yeah,
there?
we would generally do that. Sometimes it was identified that, okay, the neighbouring council wants some work, we might tap on the shoulder and say, we're going to be in the area, do you want us to help out? Generally,
Just go
just to do our sections, yeah. Then, ratepayers then might go and talk to Orange City about doing their sections.
Thank you.
Next one on the roads to recovery program is Yellow Box Road, where we're doing the section from the railway line out to about the 100 kilometre signage up there. Doing replacement of pavement between the railway line and Keele Street. There's also planning to remove pavement deformations in this area. And we're also going to tie, or aiming to tie in proposed works from MSN Milling. They're going to do some works part of their development out there between Dettering and Carlisle Street and widening that section of Yellow Box Road. So we're waiting to get confirmation from MS Milling about accepting the quote to do that. Once that comes in, we anticipate getting out there and doing that work. Some drainage work to be done first, probably towards the end of the month, and then into April.
So what are the, through you, Madam Chair, what are the EGL regionally proposing to do to the crossing?
Asked that question. They've actually got signs out there. I think they're going to start that work in the next week or so. They're ripping out the crossing and putting in generally what they've been doing is putting in a concrete coffin. If they don't do that, they'll probably reline the track and then put asphalt over the side of it, tie it up and make it all level and take out any the bumps that are in it. So I'm not 100% sure whether they're going to put the concrete deck in it or put the asphalt.
Let's hope they do, because last time they did that, crossing was still really rough.
Yeah.
It's been rough all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, where you go the 100 kilometres time on Yellow Box Road, that little bit that goes around after that, it's pretty nasty too. Will they be widening it a bit?
We're going, there's a section there that's a big culvert. We've got to widen that culvert there. And we're going past, there's another 150 metres or so. If there's something past that, then I might have to look at that.
Yeah, no, it's just, as you're coming in there, when you go down to 50, just before that, it's just a little, very little section that's pretty nasty there. If trucks coming at you,
Right.
there's not much room. Yeah.
In saying that, I think Transport are also looking at increasing the 50 k's signage out that way a bit further out. So, yeah,
That'd be good.
incorporate roll better than one way
Okay.
doing work. So,
So when EGL do the work, will that detour then go up to the rail and back around?
I believe they will,
Okay,
yeah.
do it.
probably 2 or 3 day detour that they want to go around the side of there. So,
Yep.
so if they've done it, we were a bit worried that we'd get out there and do our work before UGL got in there, but looks like they went in there first, so we can match into it. And the designers will come off that.
I think it's April, on that side, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. I've got April noted in here. haven't I?
Yeah,
So-
April something.
Yeah, they just start to.
Which is long, is it?
No. Our design would come off the levels of the track that are there now, because the track won't change any height, so the design will go straight off that. So
Yeah.
we'll tie into it.
Pretty good.
Yep. Okay, next item is our bitumen road resealing program. Pretty much, we have $1.2 million worth of on the program this year to be undertaking. That's pretty much completed. Included Fish Fox Road, Yellow Box, a bit further out, Baldy Road, Spring Hill Road, Garra Road, Gundle Road, where we did that, so we had to do a bit of pavement works there at the same time to some pavement deformed. Belgravia Road, High School Road and Bournall Road, and they've all been completed and line marked. We've got a couple more to finish off, probably in the next couple of weeks, that will do. They'll be knock them out.
Well,
Okay, the regional road program, 3 projects were approved in the regional road network and funded under the block grant this year. And the Banjo, Patterson Way, pavement rehabilitation of Brookvale area, which outside Conneaut, which was done early in the financial year. Cargo Road pavement rehab from Church Street to Fisher Street, which is done over the last fortnight and was sealed last Thursday or Friday. I think there's a section there.
Did you have to redo with all the rain that way, did you have to redo it before you're able to seal?
That section we were okay. The patches we're doing out there, they copped a bit of a hammering. We had to do some rework on the patches. So unfortunately, but the main job there for cargo was pretty good. Yeah.
Certainly the patches in Nashdale, which must have come under a different grant, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, they got hammered by the rain.
They're no for the And the other project there was Nangara, way out at Ugara. We've done some heavy patching works on that too. So
Just going with cargo, I don't know, Mr. Mayor, did they ask you about some part of it there where they used to have a little turnaround bay that can't use anymore? Yeah.
That come up a long time ago as well.
Yeah.
We're actually looking into that, and it's actually private property.
Oh, right.
That's why
So you're able to explain that to these people?
I did mention that to them, that was going to be confirmed, but I recalled it when I left there. It was bought up probably 2 years ago, 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's actually in that corner, we only own a fraction of it, and the rest of private property, so they've been going to find a property attorney.
All right. They all wondered why that was done.
So the flagging that went up, who did that, you know, because someone put a barriers up there, just.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
was flags.
Flags.
Yeah, flags, that there, the lots, yeah.
You don't know.
That's what you know was the owner of the place. I don't know.
But anyway, so from now on, we can just say that it's private property.
Section of it is private property.
Right, thank you. Yeah, keep getting asked about it, saying that.
Okay.
Mark?
with the chair, local roads, construction projects which are internally funded. Current works were Spring Hill Road from Carriga to the boundary with Laney. Work that was also completed early on in the financial year and completed. There was full pavement rehabilitation works undertaking of gravel overlay stabilisation, bitumen sealing and line making on that project. And the other one was Carriage-on Road, where we've done heavy patching on that section of road. And we've also done the line making for the full length of Carriage-on Road under that project. So it's pretty good now.
Very good.
Next topic is state roads. Each year we get our general funding from Transport New South Wales to undertake our heavy patching and resealing works. This year they were a bit slow in getting us approvals. We didn't get approvals until Friday Christmas and didn't start on our heavy patching works until January. The first road we started on was Escort Way at Boranora. Moved our way out to Cadell doing patches. And there was also patches done on Peabody Road. They've all been done, completed and sealed. Interesting to note that there's a time frame that we took to get around to sealing those, and it was probably a bit over, but getting the contractors availability was a bit problematic, and we got some complaints towards the end of it. Oh, you've got all this kind of slowing your school's about to start next week. It's going to slow all the traffic down on the school buses, and we done it during the holidays, and it was actually sealed before a couple of days before school went back. So if it was done during the holidays, it might have during school times it would have been different. So anyway, that's life. They've also now finished the patching on Canoundra Road between Cadell and Canoundra. The crew is back on the Escort Way working out towards the Parkshire boundary. They're heading back towards Cadell, and 2 or 3 more patches near the old aerodrome there in Cadell to be done on that program. Then they've got a bit of work to do out on Packham Drive. They've also done some shoulder widening near Travers Lane on Canoundra Road, which is a section got washed out there. The Transport gave us the approval to do that as well. Coming by, that was some extra work. And the sealing contractor has, so he's done Escort Way, Peabody Road, some on Canoundra Road, Henry Parks Way, and he's got a bit more on Packham Drive to do probably over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So those are many.
But where's the work on Packham Drive?
They've got to do the reseal on top of the, last year's shoulder widening and such there. I think we're trying to transfer other pavement works out there at the moment, but haven't got that confirmed at this stage, so
That's good.
yeah, but there's always going to be works out there to work on.
Yeah.
So.
Gonna take it on for me to get the full sign and then wait and me on time at meetings.
And most of the time, they're only looking for time, it's good.
Yeah,
And most of those jobs have all been line marked and finished off. Along with the generals, works on state road, we have our routine works with it, all our maintenance patching, bits and pieces as we go. Questions? Moving on to the natural disaster funding. All our Richmond Shire road repairs have been completed under the initial program. Currently working on works that were approved last May. Some heavy patching a bit further down, but project status there, which we reported previous meetings, Point Cliff Road, North Creek and Coates Creek causeways have all been Point Cliff Causeway have been repaired, North Creek culvert has been fixed up, and Coates Creek have done all the erosion protection underneath the photograph, so you can see the extended.
Yeah, I was sorry, Mark, but I went and saw that Coates Creek the other day. It looks good.
Mm.
I'm just wondering about that one at Carroll's Bridge. Is anybody ever had a look at that? You know, it's just before you turn to Cadell from Manilda. That big bridge there.
Yeah.
There did seem to be a lot of wash in that last flood, and I did ask Matt, maybe it's been checked out, but I just wonder whether it's been checked.
Make a note of, have another look at the.
Yeah, because one of the neighbours did mention it again the other day. And I said, well,
I thought they did a fair bit of work on that.
they didn't do anything on it. They did before,
Yeah.
but just since the big flood, it hasn't.
Oh,
It does look like it's fair bit of wash,
yeah.
but it could be fine. Matt probably already checked it out, but I just thought I'd mention it again, talking about bridges.
Yeah. Well, as you say, that the next one there, the Lundry Bridge, that wasn't picked up initially when we went through and did it, because no one recorded. Got some issues and went down underneath and
Yeah,
you see the extent of that, and yeah, that was deteriorated. So now that one's now been done and completed too. So the picture there doesn't show the extent. We should have one from the other side.
That's before, yeah.
And the next one's the part of the reinstatement works, but you can't get full extent of this.
Yeah, no, it'd be good if you could have a look at that other one there.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. You mentioned those the patches on Cargo Road.
I
Yeah.
can't find it. I'm looking through here. I can't find it. I thought I saw something related to it, but now I can't find it. But anyway, it's one of our state regional roads, isn't it? So it should be under.
Yes, yeah.
Section.
I think I had it under the topic of DRFA. Okay. Let's it there. Point 11, number 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. For the chair, the advancing upgrades for combined priority roads, we had Lake Novelist Road and Jungle Road just for some time there to be looked at. Lake Novelist Road, our survey design people have come up with a concept plan for that, putting it there. We can't get anything to 100 km/h speed limit, and so it's looking at an 80 km/h speed limit, which is currently what it's signposted at. Anyway, and
Given the volume, through you, Madam Chair, given the volume of traffic on there, the 8K per hour makes a lot of sense. Keep it down.
Yeah,
I'd be going even further down 70 k's, and I'd be, because most people just drive through there at a fairly slow pace anyway, because it's a bit windy.
Yeah.
And there's no need for it to be any more than that. And there's a lot of people, you know, going to and from the lake and up the valley and just sightseeing. So it's probably better if it was a lower speed limit anyway.
as you know, Transport New South Wales dictate the speed limits on the assessment in the state. Yeah, look, down the track, they might come up with another option. I know you may recall we got that flag about speed limit when that fatality was out there, and it's in the process with the signs hadn't got up to that stage. They're up there now. So we'll look at the detailed design speed there. Will help us out with earthworks and battles and things. Construction on that one would have to be in a pretty tight environment because doing any work there, and then we have to stop traffic going through while the wood's run away. I'll just jump down to the conclusion on that one. They've, after finishing the survey investigation, they've produced designs and cost estimates for it. Based on these designs, the cost estimate for these projects was Lake Canobolas Road, the 4.4 kilometre section is $15 million.
It's considerably more than expected.
Yeah, we only had about that. We looked at 7 million.
Was the original was 9.
Yeah,
So is that,
yeah. At least the idea was to get these done, designed, so we've got them on the shelf to work with future applications. But jumping back to Gumble Road, similarly, they went through and done that for AB doubles. That's we've got 100 km/h design speed on Gumble Road. The curve down on North Coates Creek Road and the intersection there, which is 60 km/h, they've come up with an option of realigning the road through there, which is going to add another $5 million into that project and align the newer wide bridge on that section there. So we've got a total cost of $27.7 million for that initial 8.8 kilometre section from the Mildred to West Road. Fair few dollars involved in that. Again, we can have that shelf ready to put out to consultants for future design.
And the intention, Madam Chair, the intention still is in having it broken up into tranches rather than on the lot, you're going to get 27.7 million in one go.
That's
So it was about what you reported before of prioritising the work, from starting at the Mildred end,
yeah.
working back.
Through the chair, yeah, we can look at that, and we've got something there to work with the basis now. If we think we can break it down for something in the future. It may be that we look at that first section is the realignment of the bridge and a new bridge to down there. Maybe that's
Where's the new bridge going?
Yeah.
well. There's a narrow bridge there just as you come past Coach Creek Road, and it's nearly one lane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Very
It's almost not.
That's not that.
That's not, no, that's not Cotton's Bridge.
Bridge further back
Back towards.
towards, come on. But not, yes, come back this side of Cotton's Bridge.
in good.
But it's just one spot there where it is, and the issue is where you've got trucks going through there, for example, heading towards the mill. And then you've got now more and more caravan traffic coming through there, and they've got no idea what you're up against.
Where's the bridge? Just to come from Cumnock?
Yeah, well, no. No, there's a sense there actually at, North Coast Creek
Oh,
Road.
so it's just on the outskirts of the Mildred.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, just there. Oh, that bridge there. Well, there's Mildred. Gumble Road going out north side of Mildred, and then it does that sharp right hand turn, goes over,
In the middle.
goes over the. So that realignment was it.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a real bad.
Oh, sorry.
That's Cotton's Bridge you're talking about.
Cotton's Bridge is only new, isn't it?
That's what you're referring to.
It is a relatively
New
bridge, like,
That's the road there in Ton, does that running bend goes over the creek there. So you reckon that's,
Cotton's Bridge?
you reckon that's Cotton's Bridge?
It's not long they were built.
I don't think it was that bad.
I don't. It's not so much the bridge itself. I think it's just the alignment.
That right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's right.
That's shocking. Yeah.
So to get a
You've got the truck there, yes.
Yeah.
So to get a better alignment for trucks to travel around, unfortunately, it's going to mean replacing the new bridge. Fortunately, that's the scenario.
Yeah, that's what, it's wonderful which bridge was.
We couldn't pick it up and move it.
Yeah.
It's right on
You
the
use
edge
it
of
somewhere
town.
else.
Can't that be it's right on the edge of town. Why can't that be a 50k zone all the way out to that point, to the bridge? Because it's right on the edge of town.
Well, yeah,
It's a bit fun, isn't it?
I don't think it would meet warrants from Transport New South Wales. So, actually,
Well, there was a plug there.
yeah, at the traffic committee the other day, there was a question about extending some 50k zones in Canoundra, one of the streets there, and they couldn't do it because there's no street lights there, so it doesn't meet the criteria to town limit, 50k.
yeah, that corner definitely needs fixing, so if you have to do the new bridge to fix the corner, I suppose we have to.
So these concepts, so we can look up there and see where we go to in the future. With Lake Canolas, there was a suggestion too that perhaps we do an estimate on just rehabilitating the existing pavement and putting that out there, because that will be substantially less than the $15 million there for Lake Canolas, but because there's been concerns about council may have raised the issue with that pavement out there.
Yeah.
If that was upgraded to a better standard, then
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might satisfy.
That might satisfy, yeah. There's certainly, I mean, the area where the main cost of redoing is actually, is on that right steep bit right next to the lake, just to be up and upstream end of the lake. It's actually reasonably wide there already. It's got a bit of a culvert and also where that fatality occurred, and a steep drop off on the other side. So to be able to do any further widening at that point would cost an enormous amount of batter up that side, and even probably
on land acquisition from batters and things.
I think that section of road is wide enough. I don't think it needs to be any wider, but it just needs a pavement slip just needs refilling. And to the south, when you continue to the south, it gets into really bad pavement. And yes, there are certain sections where the road is very narrow, and it would cost a lot to widen it. But I think most of the people out there just want a better surface.
So I think we can probably put together an estimate to do that and then have that there ready. It might be something that.
One of the things is the national community are particularly keen to have someone who have a meeting, as in a workshop or something, a meeting where they can have a look at the plan and don't just rely on our say so. So and I talked to Matt about it before, and he said, yeah, sure, we definitely want to do that at some point down the track. So,
For their you concept design that they really come up with is stripping them back as into three. I think very nice.
Yeah.
Not going to go down to a road with everything. So
So it'd be good to get some direct feedback from some of the community who live out there as to what they would accept. And I think you'll find that they would accept pavement redo rather than a complete road redo, if that's the best we can do.
we can look at something there and present that.
You should only do that until you can knock back on what we actually really wanted. Betterment's what we're after.
True,
Yes,
true.
yes, yes.
It's a difficult site. It's a really difficult site. And it was a country lane, really, at one point. So it's
It is
just,
very narrow in places, yeah.
and it gets a lot of use now, a bit more than country lane.
Thanks more,
Yeah, a lot more.
including lots of push points.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why I think it needs to be wider, yeah.
Okay, next one was on mine was Peak Hill Road upgrade. We know we've got $30 million there, which is 27.8 from federal government and 2.16 from council to upgrade the 16 kilometres there at Peak Hill Road. Tenders have been called and the accepted contractor is Finash. They started work out there in early January. They're working on the first stage, which is the last 3 kilometres section towards the Parkshire boundary. Initial subgrade works have been underway and they're putting some pavement material down. They've also poured a couple of the base slopes for the culverts, the res on the section there, which is known as the willows. So works are moving along pretty well out there. I think we're getting complaints about dust actually. Stirring on some dust, but
Yeah, we're getting some.
yes, yeah.
From
And
houses along the
it's not certainly, yeah.
One.
Yeah. I think,
Not too
I
many
think what
else.
they're finding is a fairly powdery bulldusty stuff that's
Yeah,
being produced. I mean,
but you can't really do anything much about that, can you?
not really put water on it. And
It's a case of, to make an omelette, you need to break some eggs.
They're gonna have a lot better road in the end.
Oh,
Not like it's been-
Mm.
Item 10 was the RTRF betterment works. This program here, we've got 3.78 for replacement of 46 culverts and causeways, and 3.62 to replace 4 bridges, Edward Street Bridge in Cadell, Baghdad Bridge, Chicago, Overroad, Fourth Crossing, and the Manilda Footbridge. The survey and geotech studies are currently underway on these projects. Underway on those, completing December, currently getting the RAS underway for those works. It's been a little bit slower than we anticipated. We've had to have that reported to February, March council meeting. Now it looks like it's going to be go to May, possibly June council meeting with the recommendation to move on there.
26, 27 financial review work.
Yeah, moving to that. So yeah. The funding goes until end of next June anyway. In terms of the culverts, Baghdad Road, we've put a couple of culverts in out there, a couple of pictures of those. Banjo Patterson Way, we haven't got to. Very the ones we have done. Barrigan Road, there's 6 culverts been installed. Out there's a floodway yet to go. Carroll's Road, we have done the floodway. Kangaroo Lane, there's 2 floodways there. The contractor's been appointed to do that works. Hopefully we'll be getting commenced later in the month. Along with Kent Road, the same contractors doing that one. We've got waiting on fisheries permits here. We've got the permit for Kent Road just last week, so we've just got to negotiate with the contractor with Kangaroo so they can get underway on those ones. Lower Lewis Ponds, the floodway, we completed the approach slabs on that a couple of weeks ago.
So that road's open now, is it?
Yes, yes,
Excellent.
Yep.
Just in time for Easter.
yes, yeah. We were going to close it when they scheduled to come out, and so that's a long weekend coming up in January, wasn't it? So we pushed them back a week so that we kept it up. And so Case Street Road, there's 4 pipes been completed there. Nanamai Lane, 2 culverts installed. Offner Road, the tender's closed with a report coming to a March council meeting on Offner Road for culverts out there. Pinecliff Road, we've completed 1 pipe. Riddell Street, we've got a request for quotation to go out for survey and design on that one, just so that we can determine what's required. Rutherford Lane, we've completed the pipe there. South Barham Park Road, culverts completed with additional gravel being placed on top of the road surface to build up and up a bit. Spring Hill Road, that was completed back in December, the causeway out there. They basically did a bit of widening and making the concrete slab on that one. Stagecoach Road, the works were completed out there last week. We've put, see on the second picture along there, we've put concrete edge beams along there to stop the water washing in underneath, taking out the approaches. So we'll backfill the top and resurface that.
Best Stagecoach Road.
That's at the end of Bulbous Road.
Oh,
You can come down there.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's it. And White Rock.
certainly a Stagecoach Road.
It is.
Yes, we had it down to have traffic lights on it as well to stop the. Unfortunately, there's about 4 residents up there, and there's no other alternative coming, so we had to keep the road open for them to get in and out. And the contractor's also done a similar thing on White Rocks Road. He completed that, poured that on Saturday, and they finished that off yesterday. We've got to do some surface works there in White Rocks Road to finish that one off.
Sorry, Mark, did you have to put culverts in Stagecoach Road?
No, there is
It's already
double stacked box.
So it's good one
Yeah,
already.
it's about 2 metres deep, I guess. So it's fairly deep. Yeah,
They just had to put that on the
yeah, I just,
ledge there. Right.
apparently, the water comes down that creek, it's on a bit of a curve there and it's washed it out the approach at the time, so we put the concrete beams there in terms of trying to stop taking the road paving.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's good.
the other projects, we're in pre-planning and chasing quotations for other stuff, so we'll keep plugging away at them as we go.
Very busy.
Okay, item 11 is the disaster recovery DRFA ones I was looking for. Where we've got projects that we're working on at the moment. They've done heavy patching works around Moreland Hill, Light, Edwards Street, Marsden Street. They've been out Belgravia Road, Urinoi hasn't been done yet. Kent, Bing, and Isley Road has been done. And you know, the Cargo Road they're currently working on at the present time, and they've got another work or so's work out there to do on Cargo Road with heavy patching. And yes, they're the ones we did there a couple of weeks ago, and we had to do a bit of rework here after the rain on those ones. So
And there's still, there's still holes actually, even in where the new work has been done, underneath through the new surface. So there are still potholes there, and also roughness that's being carried through from the underlying surface into the tar there. So I went through after it had been done, after some more rain, and there's just water sitting in holes all the way along the tar sections. Not all of them, just some of them.
Where's this at?
Okay.
Monty Under.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, there are a couple of spots where I think pieces haven't been done well.
Through the chair, I think the patching truck was going out there to correct a few spots, especially from the old bitumen to the new patches. There's a couple of rough bits. They've got to fix those ones up.
Okay.
Those other ones along the job, they're going to be difficult.
It's almost like that, the corrugations underneath seem to have carried through to the surface. And so you can really only tell when there's water sitting on it. When you can see there's, little bits of water all the way along where the old corrugations were underneath. It seems to have carried through. I see the surface wasn't big enough to fill any of the corrugations underneath.
I haven't been able to look at since they sealed us, so that's unfortunate.
I noticed also they're now working on just beyond the turn into Borenall Road. So just around that, there's a culvert that goes under that.
Okay.
Just on, so they're sort of on either side of there, or roughly. But the actual turn onto Borenall Road, there's a long strip of just, it's always been bad, lots and lots of pothole fixes all along there. It's just, I find it strange that was always the problem, because it's exactly at the point where people stop to turn right to go into, or just to look around the corner onto Borenall Road, and suddenly you hit these knolls. That hasn't been, it doesn't look like they're doing anything.
Probably wasn't identified. These stuff was identified a couple of years ago under the DRFA patching.
Indeed, yeah.
And we've had issues with what was identified then and the time frame.
Yeah.
That's gone on since they were identified. They've changed, and we're doing what we can with what we can. We're probably trying to stretch our dollars as to the best which we can with patches. We'll have a look and see what's.
I mean, it would just require a cutting out of a long rectangular stretch where there's clearly been lots of holes all the way along, and it's right at the point where vehicles are turning to the right, so you can understand where it would get a lot of pressure at that point. And you can't get away from it. Like, there's no point in which you can move your wheels to one side or the other, and it would be dangerous to do so right on that intersection. Yeah.
I'll make note of that, and I'll have a look. So definitely.
Thanks.
Okay. Next one there was the Marlon footpath, which was I believe before Christmas there. Fresh photographs on that one. We'll run back to on that now.
Nothing positively at Marlon announcement for like contender.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good.
And they moved in particular.
Oh, these new footpaths that you've put in over the years are fantastic for the villages.
We've got to look at those in the first photograph there, the hoops there. about protection on the side of them, whether they're sexually suitable or whether we need to put some extra stuff along there to be higher up and protect it. So
So that's the creek right next door, right behind those.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the expectation is that this will get inundated basically every flood.
Oh, look, yes. So we can't put up a permanent fence or it'd have to be pretty solid. We've possibly, or been thinking about whether we can have something which we've got drop down posts on or something we're putting down before floods get here. Or having frangible if they break off.
So what you talking about, Mark? You talking about putting something alongside the
Possibly,
footpath?
yeah.
Do you think it needs it?
It's pretty close to the creek.
Yeah, the hoops there were obviously put in for
I don't think so.
a reason to protect.
You're applying common sense edge.
Eh?
You're applying common sense.
Well, it's a fairly wide footpath, surely they'd be fine.
There is a drop off of the edge of those hoops there there's rocks and that down the side there. Get rid of, kid or something that might go over the side. We'd have to look at a risk assessment of it. So,
Yeah, if it's a risk assessment, it's only just people's common sense, surely
Yeah.
it should be fine.
The cracking that appearing there, it's only superficial, it's not surface.
Yes, we were a bit concerned about that when he bought it. He probably should have put a bit more moisture on it, or put some hessian or something over to stop it getting a deteriorated surface crack. It's only shrinkage cracks in the surface, but it probably doesn't look the best in terms of you walk along, you're looking at it, but it shouldn't create any structural failures. So they're not through. It's only just in the slurry mix on top of the top of the concrete.
Yeah, it happens when just one person raised it, when I went for a walk on now, but not being an engineer of any sort. I thought, no, they look like surface cracks to me.
Yeah.
The shrinkage in the slurry was really poor when they did that work.
Very hot, isn't it?
Okay, Bluebell Estate, actually put the asphalt on that week before last, so very much finished down there on Blue. Well, that's actually Canberra, close that section where we did the subdivision, so that's now been completed, so
That's it, Canowindra, isn't it?
that's been out yeah. Okay, well, that's what we'd like
Thank you, Mark.
for.
Thanks, Lee.
That the report, noted as recommended, and obviously congratulate the team, the work that they're doing, it's phenomenal.
For sure. Very busy.
Also reported in our in our quarterly budget review, wasn't it, in terms of what we achieved, percentage of projects completed is very high.
Thank you, I'll pass that on.
Yeah, please do. Okay, so we'll move on to item 5, will we? Road maintenance reporting.
Through the chair, for those councillors that may have been at the Roads Advisory Committee, we had this report that went to that as well. We're talking about looking at how our maintenance is recorded and what information we get out of our road surveys and things. We've got two methods of doing our road inspections. It's called Reflect and Rackus. The Reflect is the one we drive along and guys got a laptop and they record all the defects and such, and then we can download that into the trip, and then they can print out a list of all the bits and pieces that need fixing. Rackus is the visual one. It uses a bit of AI technology to pick up ruts, and it's probably more so for gravel roads, picking up the roughness along the gravel roads. That certainly then gives us, we get a printout of what the worst gravel roads are around, and then we can put them into our asset register for future reference. But when we go to prepare our gravel resheeting program, we can consult that reference and say, oh, this road's pretty rough and it needs some work done to it. So the information we're getting at the moment, we're compiling it, and there's a couple of charts there on the next page. Interpreting them, we can determine the number of open failures we've got in sections of road. They're broken up into south, east and north. And then we can also report our accomplishments for the financial year. We can also report on the overdue maintenance issues that are out there. On the bottom left-hand corner there, we can see the reflect accomplishments per month. And that makes all the areas and things we've repaired. It might, if you look at potholes, we might have a heap of potholes in one area, but they're under record as one. Other times you look at them, they can record the number along the road. In that centre one there, we've got see the potholes there picked up by Reflect for the year. We've had read the number of them. 2,800, isn't it? On the potholes we have repaired. Others, we've had 300 other defects. The interesting one there is maintenance grading.
Where's the,
Oh, it's in the bottom, yeah. Sure. Probably the little square in the centre of those there, our maintenance grading figures we've done 391 kilometres of maintenance grading.
Oh, yes, yeah.
This is a work in progress. We're playing around with things as we go. Hopefully we're going to get better results as time comes on.
Do you use this sort of data for benchmarking of team performance, like if you got a team for the south versus the north?
Could do, but I think that might be getting a little bit. Oh, then again, they might take it on board and say, "Oh no, we've patched this many, you've done that many," sort of thing. So it could be a little bit of banter between teams, I suppose, but not generally used for that sort of information. So it's only new that we're getting this out and reporting it. The idea will be that we can start determining where our maintenance issues are, and then that can feed back into our asset register for future works planning. We need to go and do rehab works on these sections of road or gravel maintenance on these sections of road. We'll also be able to try and anticipate where we want to go with our maintenance grading, so that we can have a list of roads up there, and if we do get customer requests come in, they can say, "Oh no, I'm going to Bulbous Road," and we might be able to look through the list and say, "Oh yeah, Bulbous Roads, we're going to be out there in January to do that work." So it may be able to alleviate some of those issues that come in from the customers. But lo and behold, you'll have a program like this, and the road back here that we've missed or something or other, you haven't got to. But look, we've just got to work to do what we can with what we got.
Yeah.
True. So that's the intent of moving forward. The intent is that we'll start getting better information and be able to report it back. But even though sometimes in the mornings when we come out and when that Neil interviews the Mayor of Orange on the Monday morning, and he comes up and says, "Oh yeah, we've patched so many potholes." So you might be able to have that information for you. We might be able to have the band between councils.
Yeah,
that's
right. Well, we
Not kill.
With such a large area of road, it must be hard to keep on top of it all.
Oh, it certainly is.
Yeah.
I think that's,
We've got 4 times as much road as what I really got, so. Yeah, would be a fair comparison.
well, we're on that maintenance grading now. So, yeah, you know,
Yeah, it must be hard to keep in touch. So this is all new technology. It's good.
interesting.
Thank you.
Was-
We might- That report is finished.
Mhm.
So meeting notes report. Anything, Mark? Yeah.
Through the chair, I was hoping Mick Fitzgerald would have been available to talk about his report. He's left it here with me, and excuse me, I haven't had it. I think we'll read through it. Mick's the report basically goes through this look at what our benchmarking of our plant is against what the hours we're getting out with things. Their industry IPWEA benchmarking hours for items of plant, so they're the grader, say 1,000 hours for a 10-year replacement program. And then we've got all our reporting of the costings of the plant that comes out each fortnight, so they can add up how many hours a grader's been doing for a fortnight, put them all together, and then they put all this reporting together. So what all our plant is, how it's performing, whether it's meeting those benchmark performances. It also gives them working information that they can put together to come up with their annual operating cost for the plant. If it's only doing half the benchmark hours, and obviously the plant rate's going to have to go up to compensate for where it is. But conversely, you throw a machine on a job and it's going to cost us more to our internal plant rates and more than over. There's two forces against
There's a price of fuel is going to have effect on the big plant.
yeah, that's right. We might have to stand them all down for a while. So, yes, it's going to be interesting moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's all those charts and graphs there that can be produced from that information that we get out for our plant utilisation. I know back there a couple of months ago, there was about 4 items of plant that plant fleet depots had done reports on, and they handed back to the transport team to look at these items of plant aren't meeting their expectations. What do you want to do with them? There's a couple of them we've decided that we will sell them off next financial year. It's not being economically rational for them.
Yeah, and I'm glad I love the chart. And I went through this, and there's a lot of gear that's just not being used. Look, I understand that, I've got a farm, I've got gear that sits in the shed most of the year and often doesn't get used all the time, but it's there because you've got to have it, when you need it, like a tractor, you've got to have it when you need it. So there's probably a lot of that sitting here, but then there's a lot of, oh my goodness, how many mowers do we need? And a lot of these just aren't even being used. Some of them not even used at all. And yeah, I just wonder. I love this chart. I think it's great, and it's transparent, which is good.
Yeah.
And as we are currently going through the phase of trying to work out our budgets for the next few years and trying to cut bits of money out, we can't find $10,000 for our museums. We've got gear sitting idle here, which is worth considerably more than that. I think we can be, using this information to try and trim a bit. So yeah, I'd like to see that. I noticed that there's a few of the big trucks that are like prime movers. There's a few of those that are underperforming significantly, but they're the things that are just used to transport gear around, like put a tractor on the back of a truck and take it to another site.
They can be, depends on what they've got to move around, and we've got 2 or 3 prime movers and a couple of floats that they can hook onto. The prime movers might be have tipper behind them at some stage, or then put the float on it, so depending on what the usage of things are. It sort of gives a fair idea where we're up to with plants. Some of the items are planned in there. There could be old ones that have been taken out of the system over the last 6 months too. So, but they're still in that. They're still in the system. So they're not gaining hours.
And mowers wouldn't have been used that much this year for the last few months until now.
There just seems to be so many. There's so many of them. I didn't realise we had so many mowers, and they're in more than one category here. They're all over the place.
Fair fleet of mowers.
We have a fair fleet of mowers and brush cutters. I understand that there's because of the, we're going to have gear down in town or gear in Marlon and gear wherever, so I understand that. But geez, there's a lot there that seems.
Isn't the new ones electric bells?
One,
Only one.
Yeah, trying.
John Neal.
Yeah. Which we had with the price of fuel coming up, we may have to consider more electric ones. Yeah, so I would really personally appreciate, a really close scrutiny of these data from the team, just to try and start trimming where needed. I mean, I know that's the reason you're doing this anyway.
Yes.
I'm not really telling you you don't know. But particularly as the council are now in the process of trying to work out what our budgets are going to be like in the next few years. We'll make sure that we are being seen to be trimming where we can.
Yeah. And through the chair, those couple of business cases that the plant depots having run through their lawyer, so it's a grader and a loader that was determined that they weren't practical to hold. We've got 7 graders that we basically have two in each team, so
Yeah.
we have spare.
Yeah.
Sometimes having a spare is practical, but
Well, there's going to be times when you've got someone,
Broke down.
one's got broke down or one needs maintenance or whatever. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
in the sense of what the seventh grader was doing in recent times was probably to be impractical. Now, if we do have that going forward, then okay, if we're down a grader in one area, then we might have to grab one from another area to go over and compensate there. So in doing that, the total number of grader hours for the year drops to better, and then we'll get a better.
Prime member, we go up there, hours, we go
Yeah,
up
big job, isn't it?
to move them around.
So, yeah.
Mm.
And again, Mick's been that. It's been a project you've probably been working on for the last 12 months, I guess. So working more forward with it. So,
Thank you, Mike.
so it's
It's really good information.
Yeah, good report. Thank you. So we accept that report.
I move it.
I'll second.
30 seconds.
Second by Nick.
Thank you.
All in favour? Yes, I guess.
At the meeting.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Close the meeting. Thank you.